Hello everyone and welcome to chapter 4 section 3, and this is going to be a pretty easy section, I hope. We're really easing you into positives and negatives with your fractions. So we're going to practice adding and we're going to add and subtract like fractions. Okay, our rule for adding and subtracting fractions is that we have to have a common denominator. Well, like fractions already have a common denominator. So yay, the hard work is done. All that means is, so to add or subtract fractions, you have to follow all your integer rules. But once you have a common denominator, add or subtract the top, keep the bottom. Okay, that's it. That's all we're doing today. But we are adding in those positive and negative rules. And so we will practice many times. Alrighty, here we go. We're going to try 5/9 plus 2/9. We are starting super simple. Okay, so if you want to, you can just already bring over the denominator, and then we got two positive numbers. We're adding, super easy. 5 plus 2 is 7. Done and done. Not too bad on that one. Okay. Now this one, do you guys remember the dividing by 9 rule for changing this to a decimal? Do you remember? Remember when you have a single number divided by 9 as a decimal, this is going to be 0.7 repeated. Cool little trick there. All right, let's add a little bit more challenge to it now. We're going to do -3/5 plus -1/5. Okay, so again, we have a common denominator already, and so our denominator will stay the same. And now we're going to look at the top. We've got a -3 plus -1. So if we think about our number line, I'm not going to go grab it. We're at -3, and then we're going to go down one more. So that means we're going to be at -4. Now remember, as always with fractions, simplify if you can. So far, we haven't had fractions that need to be simplified, so we're okay. But just remember, that's always a thing that needs to be a thing. Number 3, -3/7 plus 1/7. Okay, so here we are now with different signs. The denominator is going to stay the same, and we're at -3. Maybe I'll just draw a number line over here. 0, -1, -2, -3. Okay, we're at -3, and this time we're going to go up 1. And that puts us at -2, so -2/7. And having a 7 on the bottom is pretty cool, because there's not a lot, unless it's a multiple of 7, we aren't going to be able to simplify. So there you go. Alrighty, number 4. Ooh, this one's going to be tricky. Ready for it? -1/4 plus 1/4. What are these? These are additive inverses or opposites. And do you remember what happens when we add those together? It's still going to be over 4, but a -1 plus 1, if we're at -1 and we go up 1, look at that, we are at 0, which is really 0. You don't even have to write that one as a fraction. Awesome. Hope you guys are feeling okay with this. We're going to practice some more. This is the adding rules, so remember our adding rules, we're going to do subtracting next, and that gets a little more crazy, but we get to see Squinty Face again, so yay. All right, here we've got 3/5 plus 1/5 plus 2/5. We can add multiple fractions together. We have a common denominator, so the denominator going to stay the same. And on top, we've got 3 plus 1, which is 4, plus 2, which is 6. Now, here's the thing. In the world of algebra, leaving it as an improper fraction is actually a good thing. I like improper fractions. They give us more information. We can do more math with them. Mixed numbers, which is fully simplified, and which is what the book's going to be asking you to do, they look fancy, but they're kind of like percents. You can't actually do math with them. I think my pencil just broke. I think it did indeed. Hang on just a second. I'm going to grab a different one. Okay, so for today's assignment, I'd like you to change them to mixed numbers. Otherwise, and from here on out, leave them as improper fractions because it's better to do math with them that way. Okay, 5 goes into 6 one time. And if we take 5 out of 6, that leaves us with 1. And you keep the denominators the same. So those are equivalent. They're both correct answers. Today's assignment is going to want you to have them in mixed numbers from here on out, though I'm okay with improper fractions because they're more useful in our world of algebra. Alrighty, we're going to do another multiple set here. 1/4 plus 2/4 plus 3/4. There you go. And the fourths can stay on the bottom. And then 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. Okay? Now, you can simplify first, or you can change to a mixed number first. It doesn't matter. I'm going to simplify first because I think it'll make changing to a mixed number easier. I can tell that both of these are even, so I'm going to divide by 2, and we get 3 halves. And now we can think 2 goes into 3 one time with 1 left over. So 6/4 is the same as 1 1/2. Okay. With the subtracting, you just want to remember, if it helps, to rewrite as adding the opposite. Okay, so squinty face, subtraction goes to adding a negative, or we have squinty face, which goes to a giant plus. All right, let's practice a couple of these, then we're going to have a little talk about the story problems for today. Number 7, we've got -5/8 minus 3/8. Okay, so a couple ways we can go about thinking about this. I'm going to extend my number line down a little bit more because I can. -5, -6, -7, -8, -9. Okay, so if the rewriting idea is still difficult in your brain, you can just do this like normal. Well, I'll count that out in a minute. If we're going to rewrite it, then it would be -5/8 plus -3/8. Okay? Either way, when we're counting it on a number line, we start at -5 and we're going to go down 3. So subtract 3 or -3 is the same thing. So start at -5 and go down 3. 1, 2, 3, and we are at -8. -8, and the denominator stays the same, which is 8. Ooh, now this is tricky. What happens when a number is divided by itself? It turns into 1. Don't lose your negative, but this becomes -1. Ta-da! Crazy. Fun math. All right, here we go. 5/8. Apparently we're having fun with 8s right now. Minus 7/8. Okay, so again, if we rewrite it, this would be 5/8 plus -7/8. Okay, we'll go to the number line if you like counting it on the number line. and we're going to be at 5, and we're going to go down 7. So either subtract 7 or add a negative 7. Either way, we're going to start here and go down 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And here we are at negative 2. And the denominator just stays the same, so negative 2/8. Both of those are even, so I'm going to divide by 2, and we get negative 1/4. That negative can really go in front of the fraction. It can go even in front of the denominator. Just as long as you got a negative somewhere in that area, it will be correct. Alrighty, hopefully I'm not going too fast for you. Number 9, negative 11/12 minus negative 5/12. Look at that. All the negatives, fractions, so much to deal with. All right, but what do we see? An uneven, squinty face. So this turns into negative 11/12 plus 5/12. So on the number line, we don't quite have a negative 11. That would be negative 10. And this would be negative 11. And so we're at negative 11. We're going to go up 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there we go at negative 6. Negative 6/12. And guess what, friends? I know that 6 goes into 12. So I can divide both of these by 6 to simplify, and we get negative 1/2. Ta-da! I bet you didn't think negative 11/12 minus negative 5/12 would get you to that. But it did. Math magic. Number 10, 6/100. I'm wondering if this, this is it. This is from a story problem. So here we go. The story problem says about 6/100 of the population of the United States lives in Florida. Another 400 live in Ohio. What fraction more of the U.S. population lives in Florida than in Ohio? Okay, if you guys want to see what I'm reading, there's the problem right there. Put this over like that. Okay, and I actually underlined a couple of the important words, okay? What fraction more or than? This gives us the clue to what math we're going to be doing. So what fraction more of the U.S. population is in Florida than in Ohio? So we're going to take the Florida fraction, subtract the Ohio to figure out what's the more. Okay, so what that ends up looking like is they do the 6/100 minus the 4/100, and 6 minus 4 is 2/100, which reduces down to 1/50. So about 1/50 more of the U.S. population lives in Florida than in Ohio. So there you go on that one. Okay, and then we just have to giggle. I've typed in this assignment onto Canvas, and I just, this book is not that old, but this story problem that's on your assignment just makes me laugh a little that they think that we still use Be Right Back and LOL are about the only ones. I haven't seen those two. I don't know. Maybe you still use them. I sure don't. So this problem is on your assignment, whether you do it out of the book or on Canvas. They are the same. And I just wanted to go through and make sure you guys felt okay with what needed to happen. So what fraction of these students use LOL or see you later? Or right here means both of them could be answers. So you're going to find the fraction over here. So that's this one, and you're going to add them together. Okay, what fraction of these students use this or this? Again, we're going to add them together. What fraction more of these students write later than see you later? Okay, more and then is like that other story problem that we did, and that means we're going to subtract these two. Okay, hopefully that helps answer all of your questions for this assignment. Bye-bye.